America? I guess I shouldn't be surprised that the left is lining up to support convicted felon Robert Creamer. He wrote this book. He is the patron saint of progressivism. Do you know he was recently crowned with a Lifetime Achievement Award for his wonderful work pushing the progressive agenda? The Huffington Post, where Creamer blogs, called me a loser. Boy, that sounds like a smear. While in the same breath saying all Creamer did was float a couple of checks to keep a great progressive public interest organization alive that he was running at the time, end quote. That's all he did, America. That's it. He only stole $2.3 million from banks. That's, you know, when you look at it that way, why was I so upset that this guy attended the White House State Dinner and wrote the book that David Axelrod said is the blueprint for progressives? Yeah, all those progressives. You know, guys, as much as you might try to excuse it, this is going to be a big concept for you. Taking money, even if it's from a bank, if that money's not yours, even if you intend to someday pay it back or achieve social justice with it, is still what I like to call stealing. Amazingly, this thief, who used his own trial as some kind of twisted PR campaign to glorify himself, now says this about me, quote, "This is a man who lies about everything. He frames things in a conspiratorial, surreal light." Okay, all right, let's get this straight. The man who swindled banks out of $2.3 million and cheated on his taxes, he said, "I lie about everything." Wow. Robert, I'd lie. What have I lied about exactly? Show me. I'd love to hear another explanation about all the things that we've talked about with you and how I've smeared you. In fact, that's why I have the phone right here for the White House. They can call anytime. Yeah, it's still here. Can you pick that up? Oops. Oh, the phone came. Hang on just a sec. Yes. Can you hear that? They can call anytime. Phone lines are wide open. Maybe I'll give you the number and you can specify these lies of mine. One of my big lies, according to the convicted felon, whom the state of Illinois has deemed an official liar, is that influential people are being influenced by this book. Creamer, humble, sure, most felons are. He says, I don't agree with that. He says the claim is laughable, saying, quote, "I wish I had that much influence over the White House, but I don't." Oh, man. Oh, please, may I just tell the truth? Because you're too humble to say it. You're not just not influential. Look at you. You're married to a congresswoman from Illinois, a powerful Democratic lobbyist and well-known Democratic consultant, including at one time for the Soros-funded Open Society Institute. Oh, you're so non-influential that your book got rave marks as a blueprint for progressives from people with zero influence on American policy. Let me show you, including, not limited to, but including these people up here. There's Senator Dick Durbin, not influential at all. Senator Sherrod Brown, John Podesta. He's the Soros guy from the Center of American Progress again. Former Congressman Pat Schroeder, Reverend Jesse Jackson, Congressman Lloyd Doggett, Congressman Jim McGovern, Congressman John Lewis, SEIU President Andy Stern, and top economic advisor David Axelrod, who calls the book a blueprint for progressive victories. Now, I'm sure that Axelrod has the ear of the president, and I think if the president doesn't give Andy Stern everything he's asking for, Andy Stern will also have the ear of the president, probably in a little box in his pocket. Doesn't Andy Stern lead the visits to the White House? Man, Robert, stop being so humble. Clearly, you have no connections. None. In fact, it's not like the judge who sat at your trial actually considered recusing himself until he realized, I'm in Illinois. Why would I do that? I can get away with anything. You had a judge that was so well connected to you and connected to the Democratic Party that he wanted to get away, but he thought, no, I don't know. Even that and the fact that my son-in-law worked with you, It's no big deal, no conflict there. No, Robert, you are the regular Joe. Sure, you and Joe Biden are like this. You're both regular Joes, you know? So, of course, no one was paying attention when you, Robert, laid out the plans to achieve health care reform back in 2008. Thanks to Kyle Olson from acorncracked.com, who sent in this audio for us.
We have to create a sense that this is a historic battle. This is about you're being part of something that will make you meaningful.
Yeah, we have to create a historic battle. Historic, wait a minute. There's Robert saying historic battle. Have I heard anybody else in Washington say that this might be a historic battle? Let's listen.
This is going to be historical when we pass it.
This historic moment.
What we're doing is truly historic.
We had an historic victory in the Congress of the United States.
A historic time.
Answer the call of history and vote yes for health insurance reform for America.
Oh, my goodness, Robert. And remember, I lie about everything. And you want to create a sense that this is historic. Create a sense that this is... And, of course, any good Alinsky radical knows that you also need to create an enemy. Listen to this.
But we need to reduce the credibility of the private insurance industry. This is a political campaign. We need to bring down the positives, bring up the negatives of our opponents. And the private insurance industry is our opponent in this battle.
Wow. Bring down the credibility of their opponents. Hey, kind of like what you guys did when you said Fox isn't a real news network. Or what you're doing to me now. Isn't that... Hey. Oh, but I digress. Let's get back to health care. Here he is talking about those evil insurance companies. We got to make them look more negative. You know, just the ones who just reaped in those windfall profit margins of 2%. Wow. Has anybody made the insurance companies look evil?
One man from Illinois lost his coverage in the middle of chemotherapy because his insurer found that he hadn't reported gallstones that he didn't even know about. They delayed his treatment, and he died because of it.
That would be such a sad story if a word of it were true. Yeah. Looks like the administration got the memo from Robert on, hey, let's go and sandbag the insurance companies. By the way, I'm the one, Robert would like you to know, that lies about everything. But the sob story Obama's telling? No. No, not true. Changed all the facts around. Makes it a better story, sure. But the guy didn't die because of the insurance company. He died years later. But boy, look how bad it made those insurance companies look, huh? If you'd like to tell me about how I got those facts wrong or how I'm lying about that one, just call me. Let's see. Yeah, still working. Good. Creamer also wanted to create a crisis. Listen to what he says about this.
We need to establish, as the political dialogue, everyone agrees there's a health care crisis in America. Here's our plan, here's their plan. Now, your only alternatives, public, are to choose one of the two, not the status quo.
Oh, this is great. Everybody agrees. 80% of Americans are happy with their health coverage. Everybody agrees, he says, we need to create that. And you can't go for the status quo. You can't. You got to move now. Watch this.
The need for reform is urgent and it is indisputable.
Everyone in America knows the status quo is unacceptable.
This is an urgently needed bill.
The urgent need for us to get to the finish line.
You are so humble, because it looks like Axelrod and company are following your blueprint exactly. But once again, this saintly convicted felon views himself, as all people who wear an orange jumpsuit do, as the victim. Quote, he says this about me. It's important for the targets of this smear machine to push back and to use whatever kind of means we can to prevent him, that's me, from continuing these kinds of reckless charges. Reckless charges? What reckless charges? Which ones? Targets of the smear machine. Robert, what have I said that is a smear? Are you not a convicted felon? Spare me the sob story that you were just trying to help. It was all so harmless, because that rings about as hollow as when Skippy409er at AOL